Hey, it's a dark and stormy night out there, gang.
It is.
A rare Friday recording of the franchise. This is episode number 112.
Wow.
Is it right?
That's 2 weeks in a row,
Oh,
man. I
I'm
don't know.
nailing this. I'm
Jesus.
nailing this hosting finally after 112
It
eps.
takes a while.
Hey, I'm your host with the most, Daniel Ehrenberg.
I'm your co-host with the second most, Henry Papali.
That's right. That's right. Last we heard, it was your birthday.
That's right.
Mine's
that's right.
coming up.
Yeah, it is.
Listen,
Yeah, it
gang,
is.
slide into my DMs. I'll give you my address. You can send me a gift.
Yeah.
That's
big 32
at
for you.
Low Stakes Daniel or at Pod Franchise. Yeah, 32, turning 32. Now, what Tom Cruise movie came out the year you were born, Henry? Or
Tom Cruise
here's an
wasn't
even
making
here's an
movies
even better one. Your current age. What movie was Tom Cruise making when he was that age?
All right.
All right.
All right. He was born in 1962, I think.
All right, I just figured it out. When Tom Cruise was 32, which is the age I'm going to
32.
be. No, that's the age I am.
Okay,
He was over there making Interview with the Vampire.
That
Could
he
you
was.
believe that? That means he was only 30 when he made Far and Away and A Few Good Men.
Yep. Just getting started.
That's your new Tom Cruise impression?
Go for it.
I'm gonna
Oh,
go.
shit.
Hey! This time I'm gonna go real high.
Yeah, and when he was 40, he would have been doing Minority Report.
That's right.
Still, hard to think of him as 40 doing that.
Amazing to think about.
Fucking guy.
Yeah. That
I
means
think
he
we're
was
gonna be talking about-
38 making Magnolia and Eyes
Yeah.
Wide Shut.
That's right. I think that he's going to be one of these guys who's going to make it into his 60s and 70s, and we'll probably be talking about him. He'll first of all, he's going to outlive both of us, right? Because Scientology lets you just continue on.
Well,
no?
no. Well, that's I mean, sure, in terms of the soul, but
Right.
you do.
His body, his shell form.
He'll be reborn in another form, Henry. You see, every Scientology building in the country and indeed the world, they have an empty office on the first floor for L. Ron Hubbard in case he returns in a new form.
Now, I would normally say that is a great joke about
No, that's
Scientology.
absolutely true.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's true, right? Of course it is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, who will he return as? It'd be funny if he ended up returning as like the kid who played Urkel or something like that.
Well,
And then
I mean-
he's stuck as Tom Cruise.
No, Cruise, he'll return as like someone tall. There's a moment in Fallout where like they show him walking towards Rebecca Ferguson in a long shot,
Yeah.
and it's so clear that she is taller than he is. And then when they cut to them like right up on each
yeah.
other talking, he's taller.
Right.
Like he's clearly
okay.
just standing on an apple box.
Well, it's all and in Fallout as well. When you can't mask it when he's fighting Henry Cavill.
Well,
That's
Henry Cavill's a big fella, huh?
Yeah, he is. I guess. Yeah, he's 6 something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's Superman.
He is Superman.
The one true
And a hell
Superman,
of-
as
a
far
hell
as
of a
I'm
Superman.
concerned.
He's
Yeah.
a hell of a Superman.
Booyah.
I mean it. Dan doesn't, folks, in case you haven't listened to those famous episodes.
Well, God, I want to do Justice League, but I don't think we're ever going to make a sequel to it.
No, but if it falls under
Justice
Batman or
League-
Superman, we can.
I think Justice League is the worst superhero movie ever made.
Sorry, I was taking a drink of Schweppes there.
I'm
right when
dead
we hit
serious.
The worst superhero. That's not true.
It is. What's
That's
better?
impossible.
What's worse than Justice
What's
League?
worse? The
Yeah.
fucking Fantastic Four.
No,
Oh, stop it.
they're breezier and fun. You won't find one.
I don't believe you. It's better than Batman and Robin.
No, it's not. Because Batman and Robin is doing exactly what it set out to do. Justice League, the fucking flop sweat coming down that screen.
Yeah. Daredevil.
No, that's better.
You think Daredevil's better?
Yeah. It's got better actors. Daredevil's an inherently good character. Like you can't really fuck him up that bad.
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay. Oh, I got you.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do, buddy. I got you especially. X-Men 3: The Last Stand.
I need to rewatch it. I've only seen it once, and it was in theaters.
Get the fuck out of here! You're so full of shit. You can't give Brett Ratner. Come on.
Hey,
Justice League is more. Come on now.
Any listeners out there? I tweeted it out, but they've unearthed a photograph, Henry, of our old friend Brett Ratner in bed with fellow accused rapist Russell Simmons in the early 90s. Ooh. And Simmons is fully nude with just a towel covering his junk, and Ratner's just lying there right next to him in his boxers.
What is the fucking context of that?
I wish I knew. Just got done with a sweet, sweet rape, I suppose.
Of each other?
I don't know. Maybe of the one who took the picture.
Oh, these are the guys that did it to me.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, you go ahead and rewatch that Last Stand.
We'll do it for when they do the Dark Phoenix fucking movie. We'll do X-Men.
Yeah, I don't even like Justice League. It's very bad, but I don't know.
It's the worst superhero movie ever made.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I totally see.
I'm counting Roger Corman Fantastic Four. Listen, I'm counting the Captain America movie with J.D. Salinger's son.
Nice.
I'm counting all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm counting.
Yeah.
I'll even throw it out beyond Marvel and DC. I'll count Mystery Men, all that bullshit.
Okay. Jonah Hex.
Yeah, that's DC. But I'll count.
Right.
I've never seen Jonah Hex, to be fair.
Okay.
I will count. How about? I'm losing steam here.
Yeah, it's okay. A long tangent. Yeah, I know what you mean. You're saying, because I think it has to do with the fact that of all those people involved, the characters, and then it just so sets out
Meteor Man, Blank Man. They're all better.
Blank Man.
Yeah.
Gross Point Blank Man.
Nah. Good before and after clue for Wheel of Fortune, though, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. Before and after, and it's your spin.
Hey, that's not a bad Pat Sajak.
Really? I just did that on the fly. I've never
pretty good.
Pat Sajak.
Pretty good.
Okay, so 2 new impressions tonight: Pat Sajak and Tom Cruise.
We're nailing it.
Yeah.
We're already nailing it. Let's talk about Mission Impossible. Listen, because we got to get through this Rogue Nation, because I saw Fallout today. And I want to talk about it. I have things to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do too. Let's see where we coalesce. And then, of course, at the end, we'll be doing rankings.
Oh, yeah. I have the rankings in my head. Don't even worry about it. I'm ready to do it. To me, the rankings are very clear on this series.
Oh, is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Not as much for me, but okay.
All right, so let's talk about the 5th Mission Impossible film. Last, we found Ethan Hunt. He seemed to have a crew.
Yeah, he seemed to.
He seemed to have a crew. Paula Patton was hanging around, much to Henry's engagement.
Yeah, very much.
Who else was there? Renner was hanging around. Who else was in that movie?
Well, Peg.
The Pegster.
The Pegster. Ving Rhames was absent, right, for most of it.
Yeah, but he showed up at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a glimpse of Monaghan.
Right. She showed up. Monaghan. So, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. A good title, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool title, I think.
I legitimately think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Now we have a new director. Henry, we have a new director. Now, this movie floated around in development for a couple of years there. JJ working on it a little bit. They got a script by this fella, Drew Pearce.
All right.
And Drew Pearce, he was like hot in Hollywood for a while. He like wrote this, I don't remember if it was like an internet show or a BBC show. It was called No Heroics. It was sort of like a satire on superhero stuff.
Okay. All right.
And it got a lot of buzz.
All right.
So that was like his entry into Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah.
If she could. Yeah.
Hollyweird. So Drew Pearce, he floated around for a while working on stuff. He has a writing credit on Iron Man 3 before Shane Black came in.
Oh, all right.
And he...
The worst of the Iron Mans.
The second best. But then he's got a writing credit on this, but just a story credit. He might be on his way out of Hollywood these days because he wrote and directed that movie that came out earlier this year called Hotel Artemis.
Oh, yeah, the Jodie Foster vehicle.
Yeah, and that got tanked to the high heavens.
Yeah, I remember seeing a few previews for it, and the previews made it look somewhat intriguing. I'm always interested when I see Jodie Foster in something because she doesn't really do a lot anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I was intrigued by that movie.
Right.
But
Not enough for me to go see it.
everyone hated it, and no one saw it.
Right. Apparently not.
Okay, so our new director, who then rewrote the script by Drew Pearce because he is primarily a screenwriter,
Right.
is a fellow named Christopher McQuarrie.
Yep.
And he follows through to this new one. Like, it's our only director that's returned for a second go-around with this franchise.
That's right. That's right.
Now, McQuarrie will have a career for the rest of his life, and it is quite simply because he wrote The Usual Suspects.
Sure.
Yeah, he won an Oscar for that.
Yep.
And you know, I think his fingers were clean behind the scenes of that thing.
I don't think he was. I've never heard anything about him being.
Nor have I.
Yeah.
But that set was a breeding ground, gang. All right.
That's a bad set.
Yeah, and he's pals with Singer because he also wrote Public Access, which was like Singer's first movie that no one's ever seen.
Right. And didn't he write Valkyrie?
He did write Valkyrie.
Well, I guess maybe,
And he wrote fucking Jack the Giant Slayer. He's a
boy.
big Singer guy.
I saw he was uncredited on an X-Men, but I don't know if that falls under your category of not really
I don't
true.
believe that to be true. He might have written a draft at some point.
Right.
But so he wrote and directed a movie called The Way of the Gun.
I remember when that came out. I think I saw some of it on television and turned it off.
I saw the whole thing. It's watchable. I remember Benicio del Toro being good in it.
As always.
Yeah. But it kind of did nothing, and he went back to writing. He created a show called Persons Unknown that I quite enjoyed that only ran for one season. Yeah.
I heard of it. I didn't know you watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a bunch of people, they like wake up in a motel in this town and nobody else is there. And
You're in.
yeah, exactly. It's a group of people trapped together.
Yeah.
One of them was Alan Ruck. I don't remember anyone else.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Alan Ruck. That's for our listeners, in case you don't know that off the top of your head. Ferris Bueller's buddy.
Yeah, Cameron. He's also currently on the HBO show Succession, which I highly recommend.
I have been wanting to see that. I've been a Sharp Objects guy, though, lately. So.
I've not seen the most recent episode, but it's been great.
Oh, it's good.
Okay. He also wrote The Tourist.
Ooh, yeah. I remember I saw that last night.
Yeah.
Not the movie.
But then he fell into the Cruise campaign.
Right.
He wrote Jack Reacher.
Right.
He wrote Edge of Tomorrow. And then he got a chance to direct this Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy.
He also wrote that Mummy movie that everyone hated, but we'll ignore that one.
Right. No, I mean, he's a good writer.
He's spotty though.
Well, yeah. I mean, but if you think about, I mean, I don't have it in front of me, but I mean, you look at what he's written, right? So, Usual Suspects, great. Valkyrie, I think, is great.
It's good.
Um, I don't want to reveal what I think of these last two Mission Impossible.
Listen,
Okay.
I'm just saying it's interesting to give him this role.
Yeah, it's true.
Because
That's true.
before Rogue Nation, he'd only directed 2 movies: The Way of the Gun, which no one could possibly give a shit about,
Right.
and Jack Reacher, which was kind of a mild hit.
Well, I'm thinking this, based upon our conversation only. I'm thinking he met Cruise on Valkyrie. They became buds, and Cruise figured, I'll give you a shot at directing this Jack Reacher nonsense. You want to try it? Sure.
Is Macquarie a Scientologist?
Ooh.
I'd love to know.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I'm going to say no, but we'll find out in a minute.
Is that just because you like him?
No, I have no allegiance to him. I would be very upset if you told me, like, Taylor Sheridan was a Scientologist.
He is. You didn't know that?
Get the fuck out of here.
Nah, I don't know. Listen.
No, it's because he just doesn't strike me. Some people got that Scientology vibe.
Is that right? I watched a John Travolta movie this week.
Did you? What'd you see?
I watched Domestic Disturbance.
Oh my god! Is that part of your thing, your list? Thing?
Yeah. My rewatch project.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it might be better than I remembered. Harold Becker is a pretty good filmmaker.
Didn't Harold Becker do Sea of Love?
Sure, and Malice, and
Oh wow!
yeah.
Well then, shit.
But
Yeah.
holy shit.
That's garbage, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, John Travolta can't act.
I know.
It's a bummer.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Which, by the way, everybody, I have put Blowout and Sisters on my Netflix queue, but there are very long waits.
Oh,
Very
okay.
popular movies.
Well, so that's because they're on the Criterion, I think.
I couldn't get Body Double out of print.
Bummer. Listen,
I'm looking at Macquarie.
if
right
you were
now.
younger, you'd know you could stream everything at a moment's notice on the internet.
I don't do illegal streaming.
I know. It's such a moral quandary.
No, not at all. I just don't know how to do it.
Oh, okay, there. All right, listen. Rogue Nation came out on my birthday, Henry, so it's very apropos we're doing this.
All right.
July
Cool.
31st, 2015. I skipped it.
I didn't. I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. Didn't remember a thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you, I watched it. Today's Friday. I just saw the new one. I watched this baby on Wednesday?
So did I.
Tuesday. And I didn't retain much.
I did.
You did retain much.
Yeah.
Okay.
This time.
Okay.
I think I've been in like full Mission Impossible mode, so I've been really paying attention, and it's been one of the franchises we're covering that I've turned out to like quite a bit. So
I'm mixed on this franchise, I'll tell you.
Oh, I know you are.
Yeah.
By the way, I can't find anything about Macquarie's religion or religious beliefs.
All right, whatever. Listen, a budget of $150 million. Big box office, 682.7.
Jesus.
All right.
Yeah.
Came in at number 11 for the year, just behind Spectre, just ahead of Pitch Perfect 2. All right.
Yeah, have you seen those Pitch Perfect movies?
No, we'll have to do them, I guess.
Yeah, that would be an inhuman, unholy torture for me that I'm sure
Would
everybody
it?
will enjoy.
What, you like, you're not into, like, a cappella?
Well, we know my feelings on musicals, so
I don't know if it is a musical.
from all I've heard,
I think it's a comedy with just, like, a bunch of songs thrown in.
yeah, not my cup of chai.
I don't know. Who's in it? It's Anna Kendrick.
That's all I know.
Rebel Wilson?
Oh, is she the British girl?
Well, I mean, come on. Is British the first thing you think of?
Jesus. Is she the large girl?
Yes.
Roomy,
Yeah.
big around the hips.
Okay.
You get that reference?
No.
See, that's why you're not laughing.
Stop making references.
Well,
maybe come up with your own jokes.
Well, maybe the references are for our listeners and not everything's for you, Daniel.
What was it a reference to?
It's the Silence of the Lambs reference.
All right, y'all enjoy that out there?
Yeah, they would have if you wouldn't have fucking tanked it. Jesus Christ. Sorry I don't get your latest Cardi B reference, but, I make a Silence of the Lambs reference.
Oh,
you're lost.
Cardi B. She just had a kid and had to cancel her tour. She thought she'd be able to go out there, but canceled it. She won't be opening for Bruno.
Oh, God. There's only a few moments, where sometimes on the show I feel higher brow than you. Not many, but that's a lie. There's a lot of moments where I feel higher brow.
Okay.
That's one of them.
A lot of Puccini in Rogue Nation.
Oh, yes. Well, look at you. Yeah.
You enjoy that?
Beethoven, Mozart, and Puccini. I wrote it down. Yes. Mm-hmm. And the pieces without looking them up.
Good for you. Okay.
Did you know the pieces?
I knew Bolero.
Bolero?
Wasn't Bolero in there?
No, and that's Ravel. No. Beethoven's Eroica Symphony, Mozart's Marriage of Figaro Overture, and the opera by Puccini Turandot.
Right. Well, they went to the opera.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got that much. That's good. All right, let's go. All right. It's actually pronounced Turandot, believe it or not.
I knew that.
I forget it sometimes. Okay.
Listen, it starts out great. My note here is best opening of the franchise.
It's fucking awesome. We, by the way, didn't get 2015.
Oh, the list? You want to do that?
I do, because mine's been...
Yeah, you updated yours. Okay, let's talk it through.
All right. Honorable mentions for 2015. Creed.
Yeah.
And James White.
I don't know what that is.
A really, really great independent movie. Fantastic movie, James White. Highly recommended.
My honorable mentions are Force Awakens, Sicario, Ex Machina, 99 Homes, and The Overnight.
2 of those are inexcusable for not being on your list.
I know which ones.
Yes,
okay.
You do. All right. Number 10, making its list debut.
Okay.
Son of Saul.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seemed boring.
Jesus Christ. And the brow goes higher.
Yeah, this isn't going well for me.
I love it.
My number 10 is It Follows.
Yeah. Now you might as well just keep going with it, man. Roll with it. All right.
Yeah.
My number 9.
Number 9, Neighbors 2, Sorority Rise. No, I'm
joking. My number 9 is 45 Years.
Yeah, I thought that was only okay.
Mm-hmm. Because you had to read. You had to read, right?
That's not foreign.
45 Years?
Yeah. It's one with Charlotte Rampling, right?
Yes.
That's foreign?
And it's in French. It's in French.
Look at that. I so don't care if a movie's foreign that I didn't even notice, Henry.
And I so don't care that a movie's foreign that I think I might be wrong, and it's not.
You piece of shit.
I'm going to have to look that up. I don't remember if it's English or French. Who fucking knows?
All right.
I don't remember.
My number 9 is Steve Jobs.
That got bumped for me off my list. The number 8, making its list debut, Macbeth with Michael Fassbender.
Right, I didn't see that.
Yep.
I
do have a lot of really pretentious movies on
yeah, and you always give me shit for having like foreign movies on my older
I
list.
get a pass every once in a while.
All right. My number 8 is Creed.
All right. My number 7 is Going Clear.
Scientology and the Prison of Belief.
Thank you.
My number 7 is Dope.
Didn't see it. My number 6 is Ex Machina.
My number 6 is The Diary of a Teenage Girl.
Okay, all right. And my number 5 movie of 2015 is none other than... Oh, wait.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle, These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, my number 5 is The End of the Tour.
Oh, that's a great movie. People, you should see that movie. Nobody knows about it. That is my number 4.
My number 4 is Tangerine.
My number 3 is Mad Max Fury Road.
Ooh, okay. My number 3 is Room.
My number 2 is Sicario.
My number 2 is Anomalisa.
Still on my queue.
Yeah.
Number 1 movie of 2015. Dan's favorite movie.
Oh
never
my
gets old.
God! I never remember it's coming.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. It hits you like a revenant.
It hits me like a cartoon bear. Breathing cartoon air on the cartoon lens.
That rhymed. Well done. What's the number 1 movie for you?
Yours is The Revenant, let's just say that, and mine is The Hateful Eight.
Okay, yeah. All right.
All right, let's get back to it. Rogue Nation. He's hanging from a plane!
Yeah.
It's
He's chasing
fucking baller, bro. It starts, you got the team together. They look like the fucking A-Team in this movie. Just
They
like
kinda do, yeah.
driving around. Now, Paula Patton's nowhere to be found.
No.
We thought we had a team. We do not.
We almost do.
Renner's not even really around. He's like working back at the headquarters in this movie for some reason. What's going
we
on
got?
there? What, was Jeremy Renner pregnant during the making of this movie?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Who? Paula Patton pregnant? You cut out there. Sorry.
No, Renner, because he's just like in the headquarters all the entire time.
I think he pulled a hammy.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, he's clearly the new head of the IMF, right?
But he's not really, because we have a new character in this movie. And
No, but that's the head of the CIA.
Yeah, it's this guy. It's me.
him.
That's right. It's my
Love him.
It's my favorite sketch comedian and impressionist in the world, Henry. Here he is. Really commanding gravitas.
I
in
don't
this
like
film.
your hatred of him. Where does this come from?
Here he is. The greatest actor in the history of television, according to the Emmys, Alec Baldwin.
Oh, is that right? Did he win a lot of Emmys? For
Well,
30
he
Rock?
won about 14 Emmys for 30 Rock, and last year he won Best Supporting Actor in a comedy series for his shitty Donald Trump impression on Saturday Night Live. And this year he's nominated again for the same performance.
Well, those two things that I like. It's not the most accurate.
What's your
Donald Trump.
favorite Alec Baldwin role?
I love Alec Baldwin. So
Yeah?
I do.
Okay.
I love him in Beetlejuice. I love him in She's Having a Baby.
The Getaway?
I like him in
You
The
big
Getaway.
fan of The Getaway?
No, but I like him.
You big fan of The Shadow?
No.
The Shadow's better than Justice League. I'll say that.
See, I'd say no. But, well, I don't understand. So you got to. This is worth it on the show. It's worth it. What's your thing with him? Is you find him insufferable in real life?
Yes, definitely.
That aside.
But that aside, I like Alec Baldwin at times. For years, I like him in Beetlejuice, fine. But I liked him as a Saturday Night Live host.
He's a great host.
He's a great host. And then basically, Tina Fey took him over to 30 Rock and just had him do like his stupid voice, and that's funny.
So that's your thing.
And
I don't like.
And I love 30 Rock. I'm a big fan of 30 Rock.
not,
but
yeah.
you can catch me talking about 30 Rock on The Real Weird Sisters. Check it out, gang.
Oh, right.
But I cannot take his smug bullshit when he's not a good actor and he's not inherently funny.
I disagree with
Tina
both.
Fey can harness his doofus fucking face and make something good out of it, but I don't think he's inherently good.
I disagree, and I'm going to name you some movies right now where I think he's great, even if the movie isn't. well, here he's phenomenal in one scene in Glengarry Glen Ross,
Yeah, of course.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. He's great in Malice.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He is
That's
very,
a movie I like in spite of its performances.
Malice is great. He's great in The Edge,
I mean, The Edge is good.
and he's great in it. He's the only funny part to me of State and Maine.
But that's William H. Macy is so much better. Listen, this is before he became a parody of himself. When he started every fucking thing, because he's supposed to be the commander of the CIA in this Mission Impossible movie, and he just shows up doing, "Hey, listen, we gotta shut down the IMF.
All right.
I think Ethan Hunt, he might be a bad guy because it's a Mission Impossible movie, and so obviously the IMF is poorly run, and he must go on the run."
So you have a problem with Alec Baldwin's voice and his, what you consider to be a assumption of gravitas.
It's self-parody, man.
All right.
Fucking
Well,
Team
I
America
like
had
him.
him right.
What'd they say?
You know, he was the head of the Film Actors Guild in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I also loved him in Still Alice. He was great in that.
I didn't see that.
The Departed.
Ugh. The Departed is so jam-packed with bad performances. It's crazy.
What's that like being on that island by yourself? That island of people who don't like The Departed.
I mean,
There's
I'm not
two
by
there.
myself. I'm not by myself.
No, there's a few people who fake hate it. Yeah, for sure.
Fake hate it?
Mhm.
What does that mean? You think I am being a contrarian by not liking The Departed?
Absolutely not. I don't. Not you, but I definitely think there are people out there who are like too cool to like The Departed.
Why is it not cool to like The Departed?
Because it's so fucking good and it was so popular, and because it won an Oscar despite it not being Scorsese's greatest movie.
No, I'm fine with that though. When
It's got Mark
Scorsese,
Wahlberg in it. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. You know, it's an easy movie to distance yourself from.
yeah, because it sucks.
I just don't understand what the barometer for something sucking is. I don't get it when you say that about that movie. I don't get it.
Henry,
Yeah. Dan, you know.
Henry,
Man, you
let's talk about Rogue Nation.
All right. Now, you know who shot this movie?
What, DP wise?
Yes.
Who is it?
Robert Elswit,
Yeah, he's great.
PTA's boy.
He's one of the best in the world.
He's fucking amazing. Would you say he's the best cinematographer alive?
I don't want to say that, but I
He's
want to
damn-
say
he's damn close.
he's in the conversation for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the best parts of Nightcrawler.
I mean, there's a lot of good parts of Nightcrawler.
I love Nightcrawler,
Yeah.
but thinking about that movie, I almost automatically remember that movie is the way it looks is amazing.
What else has he done?
Syriana, Michael Clayton, Good Night and Good Luck.
Yeah. Works with the old Clune dog a lot. Huh?
Yeah, all of PTA's films, to my knowledge. I think
Hey,
he did
Skyscraper.
really? He needed some money. He had to buy a house in, England or something.
I enjoyed Skyscraper very much.
I'm sure that a lot of the. I wonder how he handled getting up so high.
Hey,
on a
Geely.
crane. Hey, I like it. Go for it.
He wanted to work with Martin Brest. I get it. Listen, he's great. He's great. I'm not trying to take him down by naming
No,
his few
Bobby
bad
Elson.
movies.
Why not? Hey, you're taking down Alec. Go ahead, keep going. Take it.
No, I'm only taking down guys that suck.
Okay, I'll tell you who doesn't suck.
Who?
As he segued into this, the villain in this movie,
Who's that? The dude?
Sean Harris.
Yeah. Listen.
Love this guy. Fifield from Prometheus.
Oh God, you Prometheus head over there.
And Netflix Southcliffe.
Listen, I was up and down on him in this movie, and not because of the performance, more because of the character. And so when I heard that Fallout was going to be like a direct sequel to Rogue Nation, I was kind of bummed out because I knew that meant he'd be back. And
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, I was just ready for somebody new. But I mean, he's not all the villain in that movie, and he's not all the villain in this movie either. He's just sort of like, so they're he's the head of this new organization we're finding out about called the
Syndicate.
The Syndicate. Okay. And what they're doing here, I think, is creating a specter for these movies.
You're right, and it continues Dan's hypotheses that the IMF is just a mess because it's all made up of former covert agents from around the world, many of whom were IMF agents.
The IMF sucks. They're fucking terrible at their jobs, all of them. And by the way, I mean that's set up in this movie. Spoiler alert: there's more shitty, like backwards ass IMF agents in Fallout
And CIA. Yeah. Yep.
So he has to fight against this syndicate, and this fella is the main guy in the syndicate. He's
Love the opening scene of after the plane sequence, we go to the record shop.
Yeah,
and this is where Robert Elswit really kicks in, and I think Christopher McQuarrie is a good director. And when Sean Harris comes up behind the clerk, and Cruise has listened to that recording on the vinyl, and then he kills the clerk, Sean Harris, and Cruise is stuck in the room, and the smoke starts coming up, and the framing of it's beautiful, man.
It's good, and I'm always paying attention to, of course, foreshadowing, but I'm always paying attention to casting of small roles, because in a lot of movies that could like make or break your movie.
Yeah.
And I thought this actress with this one scene was so engaging that like she's in like she has like a few lines of dialogue, and then when she's killed, I actually felt something.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I can't say that I really felt anything, but I liked, that Cruise's character made me think about that.
I think McQuarrie's good at that, because in Fallout, I mean, not to like get too into Fallout, but there's that one scene where that cop gets shot by a bad guy, and Cruise like checks to make sure she's okay. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yes.
And I thought that actress was good.
Yeah, that I felt. For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So there you have it.
All right.
Good little supporting casting right there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who else is cast well.
Who's that?
We got a new female lead here because Paula Patton's gone.
Yeah, I don't know this woman.
I don't really either.
But I liked her.
She's great.
She's real good.
Rebecca Ferguson is her name.
Yeah.
Ferguson. She's worked a lot in the past few years. I've just really skipped shit she's been in.
Really?
Like she was in like The Greatest Showman and The Snowman and like Florence Foster Jenkins, and I just didn't see any of those movies. The White Queen was like a Emmy nominated miniseries.
Okay.
And I just have not seen her in anything really until this, and shit, dude.
Yeah, she's good.
She's killer. Love her.
She really is. I mean, she's a very good actress. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and, for the first time since Mission Impossible 3, I'm kind of caring about a romantic relationship a little bit. Because, there's like a little bit of a spark between her and Hunt.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Even so, she's working for the Syndicate at first, but then we find out she's under deep cover for MI6.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's working to clear her name with MI6.
Correct.
Yeah. And I thought she really worked for me. The kind of my favorite action sequence in the movie, even though the CGI was spotty, was that underwater sequence where she saves him.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
When he goes down, I mean, the whole setup to that I thought was brilliant and very funny. Again, Simon Pegg nailing it.
Yeah, Pegg's great.
And Cruise's face when they're discussing holding your breath for 3 minutes, and Simon Pegg's like, "You can do that. You can do that. It's nothing."
Yeah.
Bruce just like raises an eyebrow, like, sure, okay. When I got to tell you, I had seen this, 3 years ago in the theater. I didn't remember a thing about it. But when they're underwater, when he's underwater and he passes out, essentially, or dies, whatever you want to, and she comes swirling around like that.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I did not remember that. I did not see that coming. That was very cool.
Yeah, the problem is when he passes out, it's so CGI that it looks like someone like running out of time in a video game.
Really?
Like, I felt like it was like Metal Gear Solid, and like the Colonel was gonna like pipe in like Snake, and I don't know. But then when she showed up to save him, I was not expecting that because they kept that character pretty close to the vest.
Yes.
And so it was tough to like predict her, next move.
Well, that's also sort of McQuarrie's specialty, no? I mean, in writing characters.
He likes a twist.
Right. I mean, you don't really know how to read people. He carries that through in Fallout. But I thought, I'm surprised you didn't say, you might have thought it. I don't know. But I don't know if it's definitely not my favorite shot, because I have a favorite shot in the movie. But I thought the extended opera sequence was awesome. And
I didn't like the editing.
That's interesting.
Why? There was some times the sequence was great, and some of the little action bits and bobs really worked for me.
Right.
But I sometimes didn't 100% know what I was looking at.
Oh. Yeah, you mean like where people were and
the layout and like who he was
shooting
at, and whether he was trying to kill somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a little murky. Thankfully it's actually explained afterwards, but I don't think that was intentional. But I love the background to it. It reminded me actually, and I got to tell you, I think that it took this from this movie. Because it really resembled it. Now, you may never have even seen. Did you see the second Daniel Craig Bond, Quantum of Solace?
No. Maybe.
I feel like you didn't. I don't know. Maybe you.
I might have skipped it.
Yeah.
No.
We were friends at the time.
I saw it. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, the best sequence in that entire movie is during an entire opera sequence where they're doing Tosca, and that is brilliantly orchestrated and directed. And I kept thinking about that because it really resembled it a lot, like all the way down to like the ladder in the back where they keep going up and down, that kind of thing. To the, you know what I mean? So I was like, I even wrote a note. I was like, this is totally Quantum of Solace. This is a better movie.
It's kind of like Back to the Future too. When he's backstage while he himself is playing the guitar solo.
I reference Tosca. You reference Chuck Berry. I like it.
Yeah. Well, you're not gonna give me shit for that, huh?
Absolutely
What, Chuck
not.
Berry's lowbrow?
I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I love Chuck Berry.
You wanted to. Mm-hmm.
Can't do it. I can't do it.
Hey, I saw. AC/DC fan number 1 over there, Henry.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer today with Hell's Bells in it.
I saw that last night.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Hell's Bells. A lot of it. That was a weird looking. What the fuck is that?
It's a new bad robot thing. It's one of those things where like the trailer is not going to tell you anything. It's like he's keeping it under wraps.
Also for AC/DC number fan over here, number fan 1. I did forget to tell you on air and off air, the only part of Deadpool 2 that I really liked a lot was when they played Thunderstruck for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like the whole song.
Yeah, that was great. That's all I cared about. I wasn't even watching the movie.
Well, that's a problem for me sometimes. Every so often, if there's a song I really love in a movie, I like zone out the movie.
Yeah, but I didn't care because I was like, oh, this fits this scene. And then I was just like, yeah, I wonder how much they're going to play. That's all I focused on. Anyway, love Chuck Berry. Johnny B. Good, great sequence, better sequence in Back to the Future than in this movie. But
and Quantum of Solace.
Correct. It's a classic scene in Back to the Future. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Where else do you want? What else do you want to talk about, Hank?
Well, I loved this movie.
Rogue Nation.
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it, and I was surprised because, you know, when we revisited all this, as I told you, and as our listeners know, I had seen the first one many times, and all the other ones just once. And this one maybe was the most surprising to me, in that I already kind of thought I would like 3 again and like it maybe more than I did the first time. 4, I figured I'd feel about the same, and 5, I was like, I didn't. How could I have just seen this 3 years ago and didn't give a shit? And when I watched it this time, I was a little bit surprised at why I didn't give a shit. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Mhm.
I really did, and I thought every part of it was just really tight. It had a plot that I could sort of follow, but didn't really care about, which is great because it's Mission Impossible. At this point, I don't care. And that ending was so powerful, and the music was awesome.
What? What are you even referring to?
All right, so we've had a few different composers, right?
Yeah.
Throughout the series. So now we've got like this guy. It was so important I didn't write it down. Joe Kramer. Don't know him.
Is
but
that the drummer from Aerosmith?
Joey Kramer. That is his name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Joey Kramer? That's good stuff. Oh, what a shock! He did Way of the Gun, and Jack Reacher.
So he's a
and-
Macquarie guy.
Yeah, and all the other things he did look like shit. But I really and I liked it much more in Fallout. That's yet another person who did that. But they took the theme of the Mission Impossible, kind of zimmered it up a little bit. Not like Mission Impossible 2, where Zimmer
Oh,
didn't
you
even
know,
do
I
his
wasn't
best.
that into it. There's a lot of like, you hear like a few seconds of the song and it leaves. Like it was like annoying to me.
No, I didn't find it annoying. Well, I thought in Fallout they did it a lot, but I loved it.
I
But-
liked it more in Fallout.
Yeah, well, I did too. But I'm specifically remembering in Rogue Nation at the end when they get Solomon Lane, the villain, Sean Harris, encased in that glass, and the smoke comes up and the music swells, and they're all surrounding him, and he has to like look them all in the eye.
I know, and I kept thinking in my head like about them like before he woke up, like planning that. Like, you come from that side, and Simon Pegg, you come from over there.
It's very well choreographed. Yeah.
Hey, Ferguson,
Ethan Hunt.
Ilsa, you come from behind me, all right?
Cruz was there. He's like, Ilsa, you go for it. Simon,
It's your new Cruise character.
Simon.
All right.
No shit.
It's nice though. It's good. It's good. It's good
Beautiful.
ending.
It's operatic.
Well, sure.
That's right.
Listen,
Loved it.
I enjoyed Rogue Nation, but to me it didn't pay its dividends. Like, it set up a lot of intriguing stuff, and I don't know.
I love the train sequence when Simon Pegg is kidnapped, and him. That's when Rebecca Ferguson and Tom Cruise, when she says to him, "You can leave it all, just come away with me."
Right.
And then Turandot plays silently, like quietly in the background.
That was nice.
McQuarrie knows how to use music, man.
The stuff with Cruise and Ferguson all worked. I cared less about Jeremy Renner is just wasted in this movie. And I mean, not that Jeremy Renner is such hot sauce, but like, whatever. And I super didn't care whether IMF would be reopened or whatever. I really didn't care about like Cruise's character going on the run again. It just seemed super samey to me. It reminded me of like watching the X-Files for 9 years, and like fucking 20 times the FBI would like close the X-Files and they'd have to get it reopened.
What about this sequence in the outdoor cafe when Simon Pegg's got the bomb strapped to him and Sean Harris is, Tom Cruise is looking at Simon Pegg because he knows Sean Harris can hear and see him, and Sean Harris, and he's like bluffing about memorizing the list on the disc. You didn't think that was kind of heart pounding?
It was tense, sure.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was excellent. An excellent Mission Impossible movie.
I did not appreciate that Tom Cruise had a beard at one point. He does not look right.
No, unless it's Last Samurai, he shouldn't have a beard.
Even that.
But that's a real. This wasn't a real beard.
No, I know. I also, it's weird that he's a master sketch artist. We didn't talk about the scene in Ghost Protocol where he just like draws a perfect rendering of somebody on Jeremy Renner's hand. Do you remember that?
Listen, to be in the IMF, you need to pass absolutely no background checks, but every artistic check.
Yeah, every sketching class.
You need to be able to be a studio artist, a classical music file.
Mm-hmm. You need to take figure drawing.
Figure drawing anatomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand.
Right.
They'll take some rejects from Studio Art 101 to fill out the IMF for us. Christ, there's only 3 members in it. You know.
It's true. We only ever really see... I mean, we see a lot at different times, and then they're just gone forever.
Because they don't make it, man.
Where's Paula Patton? Where the fuck is Paula Patton?
First of all, there's 2 reasons she's not in it. One, she was writing an album trying to get back with Robin Thicke.
She was not.
Second, she didn't pass the Da Vinci class of drawing for the second semester, so they kicked her out of IMF.
Yeah, but she beat up that tiny French girl.
It doesn't matter. If you can't draw, you're no good. You're dead to them.
All right.
Disavowed.
All right, what do you give this movie?
I give this fucking movie 5 stars.
That's bonkers.
I love it.
I give it a 3.
You're too tough on these films, or they're just not your thing.
All right.
I don't think they're your thing, because I can hear in your voice that I don't think you think they're bad movies. You're just not.
Only one of them's a bad movie.
I agreed here. Yeah. But I love this movie. I think it's. I don't want to ruin anything. I think it's excellente.
You're gonna put this number 1.
I'm not saying my ranking.
Rogue Nation.
I'm not saying my ranking.
Okay. Who's your MVP?
This was hard because I wanted to give it to Simon Pegg because I hadn't given it to him yet. I wanted to give it to Christopher McQuarrie because I liked it so much. But I'm going to give it to Sean Harris because
if you were going to give it to Pegg, it had to be Ghost Protocol.
No, it didn't.
Okay, fine.
We're not done yet.
All right.
I'm giving it to Sean Harris because, he ain't no Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's the best villain this series ever had and probably ever will have.
Definitely.
But I think he's great. I think he's got a great voice, a great presence. He's very menacing. I thought he was excellent, Sean Harris. LVP, I need help with because I had trouble finding somebody in here who didn't do their job well. But I'm sure you'll help me.
It's so fucking transparent. It's MVP, Rebecca Ferguson, LVP, okay. Alec Baldwin.
I knew you'd give it to him. Yeah. I thought Alec Baldwin was great. I love the scene with Tom Hollander at the end. Remember that?
I really appreciate that, Henry.
Do you remember that, Alec? Do you remember that?
I remember it. I remember filming it.
Alec, why won't you just commit? You got to commit, man.
Are you being Martin Scorsese? No, you're Tom Cruise. Okay.
Martin Scorsese?
That sounded like a Scorsese.
No, if I was going to talk about Martin Scorsese, I'd talk more like that. I'd be like, hey, what are you doing?
Oh, right. All right, listen. Yeah, he's got a decent scene with, Renner at the end. It was fine.
Oh, my God.
He reopens IMF, and he becomes the head of IMF.
Love it.
All right. And then as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, my God, he's going to be in the next one.
I didn't really. Well, I knew that because of the previews, but at this point with these movies, I was so.
The first time I saw him in a fucking preview for Fallout, I laughed out loud. I was like, really? He's in these now?
Well, it goes to show you how little I remembered of him because even though I really liked him now, when I saw the first previews for Fallout, I was like, oh, that's cool. They got Alec Baldwin. Because I didn't remember him at all.
He's head of the IMF, bro.
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
The Impossible Missions Force.
The Impossible Missions Force. All right, so you're giving it 3.
Yeah.
What a non-committal fucking bullshit rating.
Okay. All right, let's talk about Fallout.
All right, so you gave this 3. You gave 4 3, right?
That's correct.
And you gave Mission Impossible 3 4.
Yeah.
You have not seen a 5-star Mission Impossible movie yet.
Nope.
Okay. I'm sorry. I have one superhero. One. And
Alec Baldwin, Shadow.
Yes. Can I play this anyway?
Yes.
Alec Baldwin, the Shadow.
What evil lurks in the hearts of men?
God, that's bad.
The Shadow knows.
I remember seeing that movie in the theater.
Me too.
With my sister, and I remember it being so bad that at one point, for some reason, this is all I remember about that movie. All I remember. This is 24 years ago. I remember there's a sequence where a boulder is falling down the staircase and chasing some people, and I guess the movie was so bad that I just looked at my sister and we started laughing so uncontrollably that I just didn't stop for the rest of the movie. It was kind of like one of those moments where you just keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
That happened to me in X-Men 3.
Oh, what part?
When Magneto starts to redirect the Golden Gate Bridge to Alcatraz, and he's in the air, and he goes, "Charles always liked to build bridges." And I lost my mind.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Only rented that one time from Blockbuster in the Bronx.
I was at a midnight screening.
Sure you were.
Yeah.
Understandable. The first two were great.
Yeah. All right. Hey,
Hey,
can we talk about Mission Impossible Fallout?
we can talk about it. We'll talk about the theater experience. And
Yeah. So Macquarie's back. He wrote and directed this baby. It's came out July 27th today, 2018.
I saw the first showing of it. Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crowded theater.
Massive budget, Henry, of $178 million.
I don't even, I'm so what's the word? Immune now to the since we've covered a lot of those Avengers and things like that. That the budget like that doesn't even faze me. I keep thinking about things like Justice League and and how much they spend. And you say 178, I'm like, that's not bad.
No, it was supposed to be like way less, dude. Apparently, Tom Cruise broke his ankle or something.
Oh yes.
And so they had to postpone filming, and it cost them tens of millions of dollars. Yeah.
All right.
So there you have it. Big budget movie. I went to see it today. Henry, you saw it last night. Why don't you talk about it?
Went to the movie. Had a gift card that I got for my birthday. So I didn't pay for it. I then had a thought in my head. I was like, you know what? I did bring my own snacks into the movie, as always. But you know what? I got a gift card. I'm going to get a popcorn and a Diet Coke. I'm going to do it. So the movie cost me
$18 later.
The movie cost me $10. The Coke and the popcorn were $16 total.
Mm-hmm.
So $26.
Would you get larges?
I was going to get the medium popcorn, and the girl behind
Did
the
they
counter
upsell
said,
you for 50 cents more?
Yes, and,
Sure.
and then when she pulled I was this fucking guy. I regretted it as soon as I did it. She pulls out this fucking bathtub for popcorn, and I go, "Oh my God, really?" And she just kind of looked at me and sighed,
That's what they give you, man.
Right. I don't blame her either. I mean, how many fucking times does she have to do that? But I couldn't. I was just so, I ate the whole thing. Anyway, I got a great seat. Nobody in front of me, nobody behind me, nobody ducking underneath my legs, touching my calves. Saw one great preview.
Nutcracker and the Four Realms.
I did see that, and I was wondering where this was going. I heard the Tchaikovsky chiming in, and I'm going, well, I like the music from the Nutcracker, because Tchaikovsky is one of my favorite composers. But I'm hearing the music. I'm like, oh, that's a neat touch. Where's this going? And then it turns into like what they made a movie of the Nutcracker.
That's right.
But made up
Multiple
some
realms.
other story. Okay.
4 to be exact.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Henry, what was the good preview you saw?
Glass.
Oh my god, dude, I got that one too. It looks great.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Now, I will say I kind of regretted something. I had earlier in the day, I was watching something on YouTube, and it popped up on YouTube. So I had already seen it, and I kind of was upset because imagine if I had not seen that. Was this the first you had seen anything
Yeah,
of it?
baby.
Yeah, I wish I would have, but it was still amazing. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks super good. I'm fucking pumped for it. I want to cover it for the show.
Good on you, Shyamalan, and that is the first thing I thought about.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, we're covering it. Sweet.
Henry, what other trailers did you see?
Well, I saw the one with the Hell's Bells.
Yeah.
We probably saw a lot of the same stuff.
Did you get Bumblebee?
Yeah.
We should cover Transformers.
Yeah, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah, Bumblebee. I had all the toys when I was a kid, all the Transformers. I don't remember Bumblebee.
I think I remember him. I read the comics. And
I think I have one or two of those.
I think
Don't remember 'em.
you know what we'd have to cover if we
I remember
did the Transformers movies.
the yellow Lamborghini.
My
guy.
favorite was Soundwave, who was a cassette player.
I remember Soundwave.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say? We should cover what?
We'd have to cover that animated movie with Orson Welles.
I saw that in the theater.
I think it came out the year I was born.
I fucking love the Transformers, man. No, I think that movie's 1990. Something like
No
that.
way.
No.
No.
Okay. You probably I'm not gonna
Are
argue
you
that.
kidding me?
I don't know.
1990, we're in Ninja Turtles country by then.
Oh, that's true. I had all them too.
Yeah. All right.
right.
So
Well, what else did you see? Are you well, you just go into your experience.
Okay, so
Take the mic.
remember I had that one good movie experience
Yes, I do.
when I
Yes.
saw Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Right, that was when I had my horrible one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, let me try that theater again, and
Right.
I'm gonna attempt a sneak.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, a full-on sneak where you hadn't bought a ticket and seen something else?
No, I was gonna pay for a different movie and then sneak into Mission Impossible.
Oh, no big deal. All right.
Okay, but I hadn't done it yet in this theater,
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
so I gave it a chance. I went in there, went up to the teen ticket person. Her favorite movie was Mean Girls, according to her name tag. All right. Then the ticket ripper, his name tag said A Silent Voice, and I was like, did he just fuck up A Quiet Place? But
Like that guy at the convention hall, right? You were telling me about on the air. You were talking about that guy who was calling A Quiet Place silence.
Silence, yeah. No, but
Fucking
this
silence.
this guy, it is a movie. It's a Japanese anime.
Oh,
All right.
boy, I would have been impressed if you told me it was some like fucking Bergman film I'd never heard of or something. Okay,
No, I
anyway.
would have known it if it was Bergman.
Yeah, well, that's as highfalutin as I got. Whoop, tables turned.
Sure, Henry. So I go in there and I first started with a different movie. Now, what you don't know about me is I have been doing a franchise side project this week.
Okay.
All right? I'm not going to podcast about it except for right now.
Okay.
But I kept seeing the trailer for Unfriended 2, Dark Web.
Okay.
And I was like, I kind of want to see that. And so I was like, I bet I have to see the first one, right?
Yeah.
So the other day, I streamed Unfriended on my laptop. Now, do you know anything about these movies?
Now, if this is the movie I'm thinking, I tried to watch it and turned it off because is this the movie where you're actually like watching it, but all you really hear are all you see are point of view computer screens?
That's right. All you're looking at is this girl's computer screen for the entire movie.
Yeah, couldn't do it. Tried it because I love horror movies, even bad ones. Tried it, couldn't do it, turned it off. All
Okay.
right. So the side project is
I wanted to watch both the Unfriended movies.
That's it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's like some epic thing.
No.
I've been tracking every time I see a trailer
No.
for a certain movie. Oh, it's just that. Okay.
No. Here's a bonus
it.
though. I rewatched Punisher Dolph Lundgren edition.
Oh, why would you do that when you know eventually we're gonna do it?
Well, I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I think it's the best Punisher adaptation.
You're probably right.
Like including the Netflix show.
Get out of here.
I really liked it. It was like way better than I remembered it being.
Better than the Punisher's appearance in Daredevil season 2.
Maybe not, but like as its own thing, I think it's the best.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So Unfriended.
Unfriended.
Listen, the first Unfriended, Henry.
Yeah.
It's great.
5 stars.
4.
Better than better than GoPro and Rogue Nation.
Yes.
Okay.
It really spooked me, man. And I watched it on my own laptop.
Ooh.
So it was like, ooh, spooky.
Right.
All my devices afterwards, like my phone and my laptop, they all seemed sinister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was real into it. So today I went to go see Unfriended 2, Dark Web.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't as good. But it was still pretty
Really?
fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey. I get it. Not really, but I mean, all right. You chose that one, so that's cool.
That's what I went to see. So
Of all the shit that you go to see and pay or don't pay money for it, the horror movies I forgive the most. I don't know how you sit through those shitty comedies you do. That one's I
Like
never
what?
did that. Well, like I get the action ones like Skyscraper, and I get all the horror movies because I do very similar stuff. But well, like
Unfriended is Blumhouse, by the way. Can I just say something?
You'll go see like fucking the John Cena shit. You'll see Amy Schumer and something that doesn't look very good. I don't know how you do that. That's very hard for me.
Yeah, I saw I Feel Pretty and Cock Blockers and Game Night, all those movies.
Yeah,
By the way, Unfriended 2 was originally called Game Night, and they had to change the title because of that movie.
Okay. Tag. You went to see Tag.
I did go. That was a bad one.
I can't fathom. Yeah. All right. So you saw it when it was. What happened?
I was in the theater all by myself, Hank, watching Unfriended 2, Dark Web at 10:30 a.m. All right.
Oh my God! You're reminding me of the Joe Queenan story.
Yeah.
Where he went to like a 9:30 a.m. showing of Gone Fishing with Joe Pesci and Danny Glover just to see who would be there.
I remember that story. It was great. That movie's so bad.
Okay.
So I made the sneak. It worked out just fine.
Oh, that's it.
That's it, man.
Oh, I thought we were.
I'm telling you, this
I'm happy
theater's a
for
gold
you, but
mine, and it had
disappointed for our listeners.
It had it's too cold in there. I'll tell you what. I got to bring a cardigan next time. But
cardigan.
Yeah.
Who's 40 here?
You. But I had to. It's leather seats, and you put it all the way back. You put your feet up. It's real nice.
Right.
And there were only
Love
a few people in my Mission Impossible showing it, even.
All right.
But okay, I'm ready to talk about Mission Impossible Fallout.
Let's do it, man.
Henry.
Yes, sir.
Mission Impossible Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
You're waiting.
Of course I am. Yeah.
Mission Impossible Fallout, the 6th in the series.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Keith Ulick fucked it up.
I know that name.
He used to write for Time Out New York. I don't know where he's at these
days.
I know. It is the best Mission Impossible movie, and it's not even close.
Genuinely surprised. Wow. Yeah. It's great. It's great. It's incredible.
I'll throw this one out there right now, Henry.
It's incredible. Yep.
5.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a jump. You know, that's interesting to me. I loved it. But here's one of the reasons I didn't think you'd go that bonkers for it. I mean, I thought you'd like it. But, well, given how you thought of Rogue Nation, I was not expecting a 5. I'll say that right now. Because I don't feel like they're that different.
I do.
Okay. I thought it would definitely get points off for your boy Henry Cavill.
Listen.
Yeah, I want to hear this. Go ahead. I want to hear it.
Listen, yeah, I know. One of the main villains in the movie is Superman himself, the one true Superman, Henry Cavill. And he still cannot act. But he's got a good look. It's like a good character design. Like, he's a big, tall guy, and he's imposing, and I like the mustache he's got there that they had to chop out in Justice League.
Right.
And, I don't know.
He's really good, man.
He's good at movement. Like, he's a scary runner,
He
and
is,
he's
yeah.
like a good puncher.
When he rolls his sleeves up in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah. Anytime he like cracks his neck.
You're like, whoops.
Yeah, it's good.
yeah.
So, like, there's things I liked about his performance. It's a shame about anytime he talks.
I disagree on the. I think he can act. I think he's good. I don't think he's a blank slate like you do.
I will say he jumped up in my mind because I used to think of him like a Sam Worthington or a Scott Eastwood
I know you did.
or something.
I know you did.
And
yeah.
in this movie, he proved to me he's a little bit better than that.
Okay. Now, when I agree, and I thought he was really good, and I thought he was a very cool casting choice because, you know, I think he's really good as Superman, and I liked seeing him do a bad guy, and I think he did it well.
But
and
it would not have worked if Henry Cavill was playing the head of the Syndicate. He needs, like, Henry Cavill is
the Sean Harris role, you mean?
Yeah, Henry Cavill's the odd job or Jaws of this movie, where
That's
like
fair enough,
you've
yeah.
got the great villain over there,
Right.
who's, by the way, I thought so much more interesting in this movie than he was in the last one.
He's
And
in it less, though. He's in it less.
I know,
That's
but
interesting to
it
me.
means more when he shows up. And,
I agree.
And Cavill is like the cool character design next to him.
Yeah, I think he's really good, and it actually kind of. I'm sure it didn't do this for you, which is fine, but for me, it reminded me of his actual presence as an actor and why I thought, at least for me, this is just for me, why he did work as Superman, because he really does have like kind of a menace to him, and there's like a detachment, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think he's cool.
But I think he
Like, I
works
guess
so much.
You said it perfectly when you said the Sam Worthington thing. I think that he's so much better than a Sam Worthington.
He makes so much more sense as a villain, though. It's like there's some wrestlers that, like, they can't be faces, like, because, like, it's impossible to really like them. Like, you have to hate them. Like, the fucking $1 Million Man could never have been a good guy.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, sure.
Because he'd be boring.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to see him do his thing like that, but Cavill does it. He does the opposite thing.
Yeah, I think he's certainly better in this by a lot than anything I've seen him in.
Yeah. He was also really, really, really good in a Netflix movie about the Iraq War, which I can't remember right now, but he's excellent as that, and he's very off type in
A
that
Netflix
too.
movie about the Iraq War starring Henry Cavill, I could not be more out.
It was really good.
All right.
Oh, but I totally get your logic. By the way, Netflix, if you're listening, you don't have to keep making movies about the Iraq War. We're good.
Yeah, I think so.
There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah,
And
make
they're all-
more rom-coms.
They're all on Netflix.
They're not all, because there's some of those like
No, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah, I
Every
feel like
time
there's a genre of war movie that I can't tell apart that all have a number in the title. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like 12 strong. I don't know what that is.
13 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sandcastle. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. He's very good in that. Yep.
All right, I like the
All right.
sand. That's summary.
It's very summary, very Iraqi.
Yeah.
So 5 stars on Fallout. Well, I'm going 5 stars as well.
All right, well, I want to talk way more about it.
Obviously,
Because
but I just
this
you
fucking
gave yours, and I
thing
just say mine.
Is scene for scene just about the most perfect action movie I can remember seeing in a long time.
Boy, I thought I liked it, but I don't want to go too nuts here.
No, I'm gonna go nuts.
No, I want you to. And I'd love to match
And
you.
we
And I know I've
weeded
read a
out
lot of.
the chaff, baby. We got rid of some of these fucking fools. We kill Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
And Jeremy
good
Renner's
scene.
nowhere to be found. Frankly, Ving Rhames looks like he might have eaten Jeremy Renner.
Oh my God, I had the same thought, and
Yeah.
I felt bad for having that thought.
I mean, he's a big fella these days.
He's not.
But you know what?
He doesn't look too good. But I don't
Ving
care.
Rhames in this
Still good.
Fallout, I think it's his best performance in a Mission
He's
Impossible
really
movie.
good, man.
He really
Yeah.
carries weight. His scene talking to
In both
Rebecca
senses of the
Ferguson.
phrase.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, his scene where he's like telling Rebecca Ferguson, he has a big monologue about Ethan's ex.
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
such a beautiful scene. So much better, by the way. It reminded me a lot of the Jeremy Renner monologue from Ghost Protocol.
But better.
So much better. And the sequence he had at the end with Michelle Monaghan.
That
by the
was
way,
great.
stroke of genius bringing Michelle Monaghan back here. And
I
you
agree.
know what? This fucking franchise does something right. Listen, sequels used to be derided, Henry. People,
Yeah.
when we watch Scream 2, there's a whole conversation in that movie, because that movie's so meta, about, sequels are
remember.
never as good as the original. And
Yeah.
at a certain point, that was probably true. There were a couple of examples you could bring up. An Empire Strikes Back here, a Godfather Part 2 there.
Right.
But-
You're right.
But now, in almost all cases, sequels are better than the first one. And and the reason, Henry, is because movie franchises have embraced television. And what television does is serialize
I
things.
knew that word you were going to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
television is about continuity. Comic books too, by the way, and of course, the movie sphere has been very influenced by Marvel and DC Comics at this point.
Yeah.
And so, the Mission Impossible movies have each told their own standalone story, basically, with like a couple of elements continuing, but in small ways. And the smart thing we're doing here is it's been marketed as a direct sequel to Rogue Nation, and it is, because it brings back the villain and Baldwin as a
but it's
thread
more
that
than-
continues.
Yeah.
But it really ties together this whole fucking franchise, because the plot thread of Ethan's the love of his life that was set up so well in the third Mission Impossible movie, which was
Yeah.
my favorite until I saw this one, it pays off so beautifully here. And the Rebecca Ferguson storyline that started in the previous movie, Ilsa, manages to intersect with that storyline so beautifully. And I mean, the IMF as a whole makes so much more sense in this movie, and you finally get a sense of camaraderie between the team. And Simon Pegg's character has grown so much. It's the first movie in this
He's my
franchise.
MVP.
I knew you were gonna say that. Where like you
No,
really
he is. Yeah.
you feel fucking growth. It's. I
Well,
mean,
you forgot one other thing that I loved.
okay.
And if you blinked, you would probably miss it, but I was paying very close attention. At one point, Cruise meets a character called the White Widow, and
Who's an
thought
actress from The Crown I'm not familiar with, and who I really liked in this.
Vanessa Kirby. She was really good, really cool,
Really very
And-
good.
And in the movie, I was thinking about something, and then they said something, and then after the movie, I wanted to check up on myself, and I was right. They did it. When I first saw her, she reminded me of Vanessa Redgrave in the first Mission Impossible. And then it turns out they say there's a line to Cruise, something about Max spoke well of you.
Ah,
She's Vanessa Redgrave's daughter.
Gorgeous.
From that character.
so we're even pulling plot threads from the first movie.
From the first movie.
And Christopher McQuarrie, smart enough, just ignore that second one entirely, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
And of course. Yeah. And then I read something even cooler, because this really made a lot of sense, and probably why she reminded me of Vanessa Redgrave before they said it was the character's daughter, is that Vanessa Kirby knew Vanessa Redgrave. They were family friends. So I think that she based her performance
That makes sense.
very much, because you can even see it in the very flirtiness with Cruise, but she's kind of unattainable. Then she kisses him, which is something like in the first movie that you can tell there's like a very funny sexual tension between Cruise and Vanessa Redgrave, but the age gap is so big. You know what I mean? Like it's really good. So they really reference.
And the age gap is big in the other direction here.
Wait, between who now?
Between Vanessa Kirby and Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's probably true, right? I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
What, she's probably like 25 or some shit.
I don't know. She looked young.
30 years.
But
Yeah, she's probably 30 years younger than him. Yeah. Very
look,
good point.
I gotta say, critics have been coming out in support of this film, and it turns out rightfully so. And they've been describing it as a more filmmaker-driven franchise than a lot of the stuff going on in Hollywood right now, and that's probably true. And but a lot of reviews have compared it favorably to the Fast and the Furious franchise, and I understand where they're going with that. It's undeniably smarter, but the one thing the Fast and the Furious franchise until now has had totally over Mission Impossible is the reason you want to go see the Fast and the Furious movies is because they get you to give a shit about the characters, because there's such a strong sense of continuity going throughout those movies. It's also why I was such a defender of the Resident Evil franchise. And I think, I mean, I know that how silly that sounds, but it's amazing to me that that's just been lacking in this franchise. And going to see this fucking movie in theaters, I was just so pleased and impressed with how much it paid off our viewing of those first 5 movies.
I completely agree with that. With that last part, I agree with the Resident Evil part. I don't agree with the Fast and the Furious, although I know exactly what you mean. For me, that's just a personal thing. I didn't quite feel Mission Impossible is a series I will watch.
You fucking cried at Furious 7, you
for the
piece of
rest
shit.
of my life. Did I?
Yes.
When did
you don't remember how much you enjoyed watching those movies.
No, I had a good time for sure, but I didn't like them as much as I enjoy the Mission Impossible. I don't know if I cried.
When they diverged, Dom and Brian, because Walker was dead.
That's a little hyperbolic, but yeah, okay, all right. I liked Resident Evil more than I liked the Fast 5 stuff, but all right, I get your point. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I didn't feel that disconnect as much as you did, even though on the most objective level, you're right. I mean, we were complaining about it, both of us. Like after every movie, the fucking team dissolves. You know, you do get references to the other movies for the most part, but this one, and in my opinion, Rogue Nation, really tie a lot of that stuff together. And I mean, I think 5 and 6 are the two best, the best made.
I disagree.
Movies. You disagree,
but I think 6 is. I just.
Oh, you disagree with my on 5.
6 is the masterpiece of this franchise, man. Yeah.
I can't really argue that. I mean, that's my ranking is probably going to be more of a personal favorite thing than an objective. Yeah.
And I've been concentrating on the character arcs, Hank.
I know you have.
But I mean, we can talk about every bait and switch in the fucking movie worked for me. That fake hospital room with Wolf Blitzer.
That was great.
I thought that was going to be so stupid. The second Wolf Blitzer showed up, it was just like the kind of movie where every time I was like, this is too much, they were able to convince me, no, this is right.
I agree. And I was completely fooled, by the way. Totally. fooled.
Me too. I was also fooled by the double cross on Cavill in the.
You know what? I wasn't. I knew there was something fishy with his character. So what I was fooled by.
No, not that. I mean the bit where they send Cruz away and Cavill starts to like warn his guy.
Yes.
But then,
okay, yes.
Yeah, that
didn't
fooled
see
me.
that. Loved it. They're getting way better at the mask thing. It's almost like a running gag. I wonder if it's even like a running gag in the movie, like on set, like where they're just getting better and better with the mask stuff.
Well, I've liked the recurring joke of Simon Pegg loving to use the masks, and that paid off in this movie.
He finally gets to do it. Yeah. It was awesome, and you know that helicopter sequence.
Well, but there's so many even before that. Like the car chase through France is really fucking great, and I mean the helicopter scene is just. The last hour of this movie just does not let up. Like I'm sitting there, like the recliner is down on my seat, and I'm just like huddled to my knees. Like I was so tense. The bomb shit worked for me totally and completely. Bringing Michelle Monaghan in there was a stroke of fucking genius, as far as I'm
you get to see Wes Bentley.
Yep, Wes Bentley, sure. Hey, buddy. I couldn't believe he had such a small role.
I could.
I guess, yeah.
What happened to that guy?
Drugs. But
okay. What was great about the helicopter sequence to me is it starts out again, like you said, where it's starting to. It obviously it's straining credulity, but we're always used to that. And it starts ridiculously enough. It gets more ridiculous, and then it just goes beyond ridiculous into like when it crashes. And then it crashes again, and the one's falling on top of the other.
Yeah, they're falling down that cavern thing.
Oh my god! I mean, it's insane.
But
so
it's
good.
just a fucking set piece that is so goddamn killer.
And the camera work on it when Cavill gets up on the ice and his fucking face is like burned off.
Yes, beautiful.
By the way, kudos for an actor not giving a shit about his vanity, because you know a lot of people, I'm sure, would be like,
"Oh, stop it!
I can't."
This is a man crush on Cavill. Of course, that is ridiculous.
You know what I'm talking about.
What? You can't CGI one side of his fucking head to look all burnt?
Oh, you think it was CGI?
It was a mixture of CGI and makeup.
I think there's a lot of actors who don't want to look ugly.
I think if you're playing the villain in a Mission Impossible movie, you're okay getting your ear blown off.
Should I take my kudos back?
Yeah.
Okay, kudos
revoked.
Disavow the kudos.
Yeah.
I liked him in that scene because I think he displayed that sort of menace thing you're talking
I
about.
I thought he was pretty good in that scene. And every time we were cutting away from Cruz, I was into what was going on back there, because all the stuff with like Simon Pegg and Rebecca Ferguson, like fighting that dude, and Simon Pegg getting flat out hanged from a noose.
And I loved the so obvious but brilliant cuts there where she's strangling Sean Harris and Peg's being strangled at the same time, and she at one point she's looking at him, she's looking at Sean Harris, and she says, "Come on," like to Sean Harris, like, pass out already so I can like rescue Peg. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really good. Yeah. We're gushing.
Well, I'm totally gushing. That character Ilsa, who I liked in Rogue Nation, I mean, she cements herself. At this point, I think she's as essential to this franchise as Ethan Hunt.
You think this split thing will continue?
What?
Do you think this franchise will continue?
I don't know, because frankly,
feels like the end.
It felt like such a good series finale.
Yeah,
because they wrapped a lot up. But I mean, if they make another one, fuck yeah, I'll go see it.
I will too. I wanted to bring up a question that former guest Jason Anthony Harris asked me, and it was asking me, but I thought it was a good idea to talk about real quick if he wanted to. He wondered what we thought the similarities, if any, were between kind of the Daniel Craig Bonds and these, in terms of like the slickness and the really state-of-the-art action stuff. You know, like if we saw any parallels or things like that.
I mean, the Daniel Craig Bonds in many ways are aping the Bourne movies, and I think Mission Impossible is doing that quite a bit. But I felt that way more with Mission Impossible 3. I think since Ghost Protocol, they've sort of developed their own tone where they're gonna do like silly shit like Fast and Furious or something, but tied to a more realistic world, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because my first thought when he said that, because I think he wrote high tech stylized action movies, was that I was thinking about Casino Royale and how not much that movie is, because it's really brutal, and Mission Impossible is kind of goes with a lot.
You know what? They do treat Ethan Hunt a little bit like James Bond in that movie, though, because one thing I thought of
he's unbreakable.
Well, one thing I thought of to me the best moment in Casino Royale, and it's a really random moment to be my favorite moment, is
a lot of random great moments.
In the opening chase sequence.
Oh yeah,
he just sort of like one guy, he does like a flip over a wall or something.
Oh yeah,
and Daniel Craig just runs through the wall.
He goes through it.
Yeah.
That was fucking
and to me that was just a great illustration of the pit bull like nature of the James Bond character. Like the motherfucker just does not stop. And I felt that way with Ethan Hunt in this movie, but in a different way, where like he was riding in that helicopter.
Yes.
And Simon, or I mean, he was trying to figure out. Someone was asking him, maybe Luther, like how is he gonna get to the other helicopter that Henry Cavill's in, and he's just like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I love when he pulls up next to him, and they have like an exchange of glances, and Cavill just like gives him like a come on.
Yeah.
And Cruise goes something like, "That's right, prick."
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
And Cavill pulls out that fucking giant gun. It's great. I mean, I can't get enough. And then that beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous moment at the end of the movie when we don't even see Cruise like get to the detonator in time.
Right. Yeah.
We just see Ving Rhames' reaction to it, and he's like, "We go at 1 second," and they're like, "Why?" Like, we don't know if he's doing it, and he'll do it.
Yeah, there's just no doubt.
Yeah,
he has no doubt.
Luther's been with the man for long enough that he knows what's about to happen.
That's right. And that's why it was also a brilliant stroke to give that line to Luther, of all people.
It had to be Luther. This was, I mean, I said it already. Ving Rhames' best go-around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good. Side note, also, I wanted to mention something very funny that Jason Harris said that he didn't go to it, but
Jason Anthony Harris. There was a screening
of Mission Impossible Fallout, and Bill Clinton was in the theater.
You mean my favorite novelist?
Yes.
Bill Clinton?
Yes, Bill Clinton.
Death of a President?
I got news for you. He wrote that a lot more than James Patterson did.
I know.
Yeah. I met James Patterson, ghostwriter, when we worked at the store.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. Go see Sean Spicer. All right. Shout out to Barnes and Noble. Can't wait till that lease runs out, guys.
Get those layoffs in.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie?
Not really. I thought it was great. I loved it. It's sort of making me rethink my rankings.
I'm dead set on my rankings.
I was dead set. You know what? I'm still dead set, but I was rethinking it for a minute. I'm still very happy with them, but I'm also somebody who liked all but one of these movies a lot. So, yeah. All right. 5 stars.
5.
Simon Pegg, you are finally getting my MVP because I loved you turning it around. You get to wear the mask. He has so much emotional heft in this movie. he's getting the MVP. Most valuable player, Simon Pegg. Even though there are a lot of
Listen, the most valuable player in this movie is Christopher McQuarrie because he is the auteur. He wrote and directed this movie, and it's amazing. But that being said, if I'm going with an actor, I don't know if I've done this yet, but I was, because Ving Rhames showed up at the start of the movie.
I don't think you did.
And Ving Rhames showed up at the start of this movie looking a little worse for wear.
Yeah.
And he almost dies in the opening scene. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of okay with it. I was like, maybe it is time to kill off Luther. And then the motherfucker just proved himself to me throughout this entire movie. And I fell in love with Luther all over again, more than I ever had before. So Ving Rhames, in terms of acting, is my MVP.
All right. Wow, so you didn't give it to McQuarrie either.
No, I mean that's who it is. That's the most valuable player. But I like to give it to an actor, and
yeah, I think we would agree on that. I McQuarrie is, but I wanted to give Simo.
So Ving Rhames. Shout out to Rebecca Ferguson. Shout out to Michelle Monaghan, who does a lot with very little screen time.
And just because I
her
think
final scene with Cruiser, baby, where she tells him that they're both exactly where they should be.
Yeah, that's well written.
And the world is a better place with him in it. And oh my god,
that could be bad. That could be bad.
No, it was perfect though. Cruise was great in it too, and Monaghan was great. And then the next scene right after that with Rebecca Ferguson, with Monaghan almost handing the torch to Ferguson, it was gorgeous.
He's yours now. Yeah. LVP Henry Cavill.
No, Alec Baldwin.
Why are you so fucking mean to me?
He sucks. I was so pumped when he died. At the moment, I didn't like.
No, you weren't. You were emotional.
No. I wasn't. I was not at all because it held so little heft when he died that I was thinking at that moment it was such a big moment in the movie. Maybe we need to kill off someone more important. And I was kind of thinking maybe we kill off Simon Pegg there.
Yeah, you don't. Well, yeah, you do kill the comic relief sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that might have been more effective, but I of course love to see him in the rest of the movie. And we killed.
What do you think, Angela B showing up?
Angela Bassett. She's only in a few scenes. I love Angela Bassett. I thought she was fine.
She's great.
Yeah, I've been enjoying her on the TV show 911. Henry.
Oh, all right.
Very good.
All right. So
she made out with Peter Krause.
I don't have an LVP.
No, Baldwin. But that's that. I mean, I love the movie. It's five, big time 5.
Yeah, big time 5. Still think it's hilarious. I got some really great opinions from you this week. Loving the Alec Baldwin hate, and hilariously enjoying what I fully thought would be a hate fest on Henry fucking Cavill. Totally thought that would be a hate fest.
A little more mixed.
What's that?
A little bit more mixed this time.
Yeah. Sorry, you keep cutting out, so I was missing you. All right.
Don't give a shit. All right. What do you got, Hank? Let's rank these babies.
Let's rank them. I'm sticking with my guns here. All right. Let's do worst to best.
Okay. A fine podcast that we've appeared on, right?
Yes. That's right.
Worst of the best.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do it at the same time. The worst Mission Impossible is
Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Okay. The 5th best Mission Impossible is, for me, I'll go Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Okay. For me, it's Rogue Nation.
Wow.
In hindsight, though, it does set things up well for the next movie.
Sure does. That's why I'm not getting to, yeah. All right. The 4th best or the 3rd worst, let's go with 4th best, is Mission Impossible 3.
Okay, my 4th best is Mission Impossible.
Wow. Jesus. All right. And coming in with the bronze medal. This is very hard. One of the hardest rankings I've ever done. I'm going to stick to my guns, though. the bronze goes to Mission Impossible Fallout.
That's so crazy. To me, like 2 through 5 are a little bit on the difficult side, but like for my number 1 and my number 6, it's not even fucking close. There's such a huge gap.
Number 6 is easy. Number 1. was
Number
not
1
so-
is as easy as number 6 for me.
Okay. Well, what's your bronze?
My number 3 Mission Impossible movie is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Okay. I knew you would put that above. I actually put 3 above you, or you said 3 already? No,
I have not
okay.
said 3 yet.
Silver goes to Mission Impossible Rogue Nation,
And I say 3.
and the gold goes to the first one.
And I say Fallout.
Yeah,
Very different list. More different than usual, I'd say.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
I went with number 1. It sets the whole thing up. I love it. I've loved it for over 20 years. It still holds up. It's really an amazing film.
It's really good. I think there are 5 good Mission Impossible movies. I just think there's only one I'm enthusiastic enough to like really say I'll watch this movie a lot.
Are there any-
I'll rewatch 3. 3 was a surprise to me. I liked 3 more than I thought I would.
Okay, I was just going to say, were there any on my list that you are surprised that I put so high?
I'm a little surprised that the first one's number 1, but I guess there's a bit of a nostalgia factor for you that is not there for me, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, I will say I'm surprised that Fallout ended up being your favorite, but it's totally cool. You know, it's a great fucking movie, and my rankings could have gone 1, 6, 5.
And
but
because of the Rotten Tomatoes, I was like overhyped for it.
I was
to the
too.
point where like for
Maybe that
for a
worked on-
little while there, I was trying to find fault with this movie, and like when the Wolf Blitzer thing happened, I was like, that's fucking stupid. But then like it just worked. Like everything I was like trying to find fault with, I just ended up loving.
yeah. Well, I feel that that's a lot of what 5 did too, and I think was one of the reasons that it was so high on my list. But anyway, that's Mission Impossible, folks. We did it. Did another one.
We did it.
We did it. I do have a quick superhero count.
Okay, Henry Cavill, Superman.
You want to just try?
No, well,
Wanna go?
do the theme song.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There we go. That was for Christopher Reeve, the one and only Superman.
Thank you. Well, you know, I do think at Hollywood, we're giving Henry Cavill roles in other movies now. I think Hollywood let Brandon Routh down.
So the second superhero.
I'm
knew
being
it was
serious.
coming. I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. Angela Bassett.
Oh, yeah?
Listen to this, man.
Is Tina Turner a superhero?
Listen to this. She's in 3, and all 3 are live action. All of my superhero count live action this week. All right. Obviously, Henry Cavill is Superman. Angela Bassett was in The Green Lantern, playing Amanda Waller.
Really?
I did not remember that. I mean,
Nor
I saw
did
it.
I.
It was a piece of shit, but I didn't remember her in it at
It's
all.
better than Justice League.
Ooh, damn. Yeah, I will say Ryan Reynolds is a better Green Lantern than Ezra Miller is a Flash.
I don't know if I agree with that part.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God, dude! Did you see the Aquaman trailer?
Yes.
Holy fuck! Does that look terrible?
I'm not gonna see that.
I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, it might be the first superhero movie in 20 years I'm actively just not gonna see.
I'm not gonna see Guardians 3, but
I won't either. You convinced me. I did some reading on your. I'm not doing it either.
yeah.
No. Also, Amanda Waller was also in Black Panther, playing Ramonda. I don't remember her in that. But
I vaguely do actually.
uh,
Yeah.
and this is my favorite one. I watched it when I was a kid. The Flash TV series by the best Flash, John Wesley
Ship.
Christopher Ship.
Mhm.
She played a character named Linda Lake.
Okay.
I don't know who that is. And then this is hilarious to me. Wes Bentley was in,
Oh no. I know this one.
Okay, there's two he was in. Go ahead.
He played like Mephistopheles or something in a Ghost Rider movie.
He played Legion in Ghost Rider.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's in another one?
Yeah, which you on this show was already mentioned this week, but you did not see.
Really?
And so you can't say that it was worse than Justice League, and I can't either.
Okay, what is it?
Jonah Hex
Right.
played a character named Edelman Lusk.
You know, I watched part of Jonah Hex on TV once because I like some of the people that are in it, but I don't know. I'd see it eventually, I guess. It's probably better than Justice League. And I know for a fact it's under 90 minutes.
Oh, well, there's the selling.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Yeah, that's it.